Hi, it's Kim McGrath from Expressions of the Universe with your stars and cards for June 26th through July 2nd. We have a new moon in Cancer coming. I have cards for every zodiac sign. I'm doing a 3-card reading. I will timestamp it in this video because I want to talk about the astrology first. The new moon and all of the energy that is surrounding us right now. I know you're feeling it. I'm feeling it, and I'm not even turning on any devices or TV or anything, and I can feel it. So let's get started. If you're in the United States, or even if you're not, because whatever happens here does trickle out, ripple out into the rest of the world. You know what happened several days ago. And, you know, I don't like to get political. I like to be matter of fact, mundane astrology. And that's why I want to talk about this, because there was a lot of upsetting news in the United States as far as civil rights, fair rights, human rights, and it has caused celebrations on one end and protests on the other end. So let's just bring this back real quick to show you a bigger picture, and let me put something into perspective real quick. If you've been watching me or any other astrologers, the United States is going through its first Pluto return. Pluto is the planet of death, transformation, birth, rebirth, the phoenix coming up out of the ashes after everything crumbles down. And if you go back in history, and I've talked about this in other videos, many other civilizations and many other countries have seen multiple Pluto returns. This just happens to be the first for the United States because it only occurs once every 247 years, rounded up to 250. And that is how old this country is. It takes that long for Pluto to transit around the sun and back again, you know, or the earth. So we're only seeing this for the first time. In Rome, in the UK, in other ancient civilizations, whenever they've had their Pluto returns, you know, there's a big crumbling down of what is already existing. And then it transforms into, at that moment, what the people feel, you know, is a new type of civilization. A lot of countries have redone their natal charts because every country does have a natal chart. They've redone their natal chart based on what has happened at that Pluto return. So it's pretty easy. And I believe I made a video some time ago about the different civilizations. I believe I published it. I hope I did, because, you know, like, I've been working on this for a very long time. Okay, so let's bring that back into today's perspective. 2022, some astrologers believe it's going to be later. It depends on how you do the math and the geometry. But 2022 is supposed to be the year of the exact Pluto return in relation to the Sibley chart of the United States of America, which occurred on July 4th of 1776 at 5:10 p.m. right here in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That is when the Declaration of Independence from the United Kingdom was signed and declared. So here we are. So it occurred, first hit was in February of 2022. We're coming upon the second hit of that exact, because, you know, Pluto retrogrades, then it comes back, all planets and all aspects, they retrograde, then they come back, and then we will have a third hit in December of 2022. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like, just so that you can see. Oh, excuse me. There has to be something on my glasses because it keeps hitting me. I put my glasses up in my hair all of the time, you know, like that. And then it catches the hair and gets caught in the hinge. All right, so let's just bring this up. I just want to show you real quickly before I move on to the new moon in Cancer aspects, just to give you some perspective and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the United States Sibley chart, July 4th, 1776, 5:10 p.m. Philadelphia time. Here's Pluto. In the inner wheel is the United States chart. The outer wheel are the planets currently. I have this lined up for July 20th of 2022. So we're about a month out from this. However, Pluto is so slow that we're definitely seeing and feeling repercussions of this. Now, this is not the exact time because we're at 20 minutes. That's 33 minutes. But the degree, 27 degrees, is that hit. It is in the second house, which the second house is about money, foundations, values. Capricorn is foundations. So when I look at the signs in mundane astrology, Capricorn is politicians, governments, big business, brokers, engineers, builders, miners, bankers. But remember, politicians and governments. So if you think about what Pluto stands for, death, destruction, transformation, so that we can have a rebirth. Those are the themes that it's hitting. So those things have to come crumbling down. And it's also religion. That could be Sagittarius a little bit too. So I just want to remind all of you that before we can have transformation, we have to go through some major upheavals here in this country. Pluto is the ability to change and reform, adapt. It also has to do with crime, immense power structures, nuclear grids and energy, debt, finances, and root issues. And in the second house, I just want to point out, just referring back to my notes so that I have the key words. It's the national budget and finances. It's the values of a particular nation. It's resources, it's holdings. What is the current circulation of money? Does this country value one resource above another? What is the ability for a nation to produce or purchase things it needs? The ability to be prosperous as a nation. So all of that needs to really transform and change. And it is, because this country, along with a lot of the other world, is in chaos. Whatever happens here in the United States, like I said, trickles out or ripples out to other countries and nations in the world. I'm just going to advance this to December, although it's happening like right before the new year. You'll see once again, Pluto is lining up for that change. And you know what's interesting is that you ever hear this saying or the adage you see, like when celebrities die, you know 2 more are going to die because everything happens in threes. Well, in astrology, things happen in threes. You need those three passes back and forth for that huge impact. You know, some aspects that are pretty swift, they could have minor impacts, but it's when the planets are retrograde and they're moving back and forth over a same spot, similar in our own charts, that's when the biggest impact occurs. All right, so I'm going to move on. What else did I want to say? So currently, last week, Mercury was opposing Pluto. Mercury is communication. It was in Gemini. So, you know, like there could be like two different stories going on. Possibly we're not seeing the second story. We know what Pluto means and brings, but it brings Mercury, who has the ability to go into the underworld, Pluto, and bring things back from the underworld. When Mercury was opposing Pluto last week, right before this Supreme Court decision, he was going into the underworld, bringing back something out of that darkness, something that hasn't been looked at for a long time, bringing it into the light, bringing that bad news, depending on what side you're on. And a lot of people, they can't believe that it has happened because it was kind of like a shock. And if I'm not mistaken, actually on the 24th, the moon was conjunct, meaning right together with Uranus in Taurus. Values, shocking news, shocking, something about values. So just know that these are transits that we move through. This is impermanent. And yes, these people in those higher places, it's all about control. It has nothing really to do with babies. It's really more or less control of a gender, because we're becoming too powerful again. And look what has happened throughout history. That feminine energy has been rising up. That energy, women were in charge, in power, and, you know, the patriarchy came and cut that down, squashed that down. That's when religion also moved in to control people. All of that is getting churned and turned. We just have to ride through it. So the best thing to do is to really stay grounded. Turn off your TVs, but also too, it will take a subset of people to do something about this. I'm not getting involved in that drama, to be honest. I'm going to do it energetically through my heart. However, where was my mind going? Know that everything will work out, because there are people out there in the streets saying, we let this happen to ourselves. So we really have nobody to blame when these things happen, because we've let it happen to ourselves. But we had to have this come out into the light to wake people up to say, okay, you know, how am I going to vote? What am I going to do? What can we do as a collective to make these changes? And it goes beyond what happened last week. That's, you know, into the whole gist of all human rights. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the chart for the new moon. Before I do, so Sunday, July 26th, part of the reason why I'm talking about this, the moon is conjuncting Mercury and Venus. It's sextiling Jupiter, semi-squaring Mars, quintiling Neptune. So what I wrote, it's like people banding together, there's flexibility, there's movement, but I don't think a lot of people are seeing that bigger picture, the bigger picture of the United States Pluto return, the bigger picture of we did this to ourselves, the bigger picture of what is really all about what can we make out of this. Following into Monday the 27th, it's an opportunity for us to move forward constructively. And although it's very tense, there's a sense of healing through organization, through coming together. Now I'm going to move into the new moon. Gotta share that. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait a minute. I can't find what I'm doing. I updated my computer to Windows 11. And it's pretty different. All right, so here is our new moon chart for June 28th, 2022. And that will be coming in at 10:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm looking at it from this perspective. I had already looked at a Pacific Coast chart, and it has this sun and moon, black moon Lilith, in the 4th house of the home. Just right off the bat, I want to point out these aspect lines. Red is tension. Red is anger, assertion, upheaval. The blue is harmonious. The green is, that's an inconjunct or a quincunx, same thing, which is a form of tension. It's like, but learning through the tension, whereas this is just flat out like, I'm going to punch you in the face. These beautiful pinkish purple lines, those are septiles. Those are fated or destined events. Something otherworldly that we can't see coming in to actually enhance and beautify situations. So just to point those out. What I was picking up a lot from this chart was throat, esophageal, acid reflux, stomach issues occurring. Okay, I'm not, should I do the annotator? Yeah, let's do the annotator. Okay, so here we have our new moon in Cancer at 7 degrees Cancer. Where did I put my notes? Oy vey. Do you know what? I can't seem to find my notes. Why does this always happen? Oh my goodness. I had another page. I'm going to have to pause this. Maybe it fell. I'm not sure because I had written some pretty good notes. Okay. Oh, I found them. They're on the back side of this. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so I also want to point out that Neptune has stationed to go retrograde here in Pisces in the 2nd house of values and money. But I do also want to say that Neptune moves so slowly. He's pretty much been in this position for the last 5-6 weeks anyway. So we've been feeling, you know, under the veil of illusion, maybe being a little more euphoric about situations, and then therefore it disappoints us even more. But when Neptune goes retrograde, it will lift the fog to reveal what may have been hidden. So it's kind of a good thing. The other thing with Neptune is that Neptune rules oil and petroleum, also rules water, and in Pisces, you know that there's that theme. So with it moving backwards, retrograde, do gas prices go down a bit? We could maybe be seeing drought. And I didn't write that, but it just popped into my head. But we may not see gas, petroleum. Well, petroleum prices are starting to go down, but we're not seeing it at the pumps yet. Jupiter will be going retrograde and moving back into Pisces. July 28th starts the retrograde. So we may not see it hit our wallets in a positive way until the end of July. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So what's interesting, this sun and moon in Cancer wants us to nurture, wants us to really take care of ourselves, take care of our families, take care of what is important. And it's 1:11 on the clock, so make a wish. However, it is squaring Jupiter. So you can see this red line right here coming in. It's squaring Jupiter because see how they're both at 7 degrees? It's almost an exact square. Squares are tension. Jupiter in Aries. Aries is that fiery heat. Jupiter loves being in Cancer. It's exalted. It celebrates when it's in Cancer. When it is in Aries, it feels as though it's being pushed or forced. You know, demands are being put on it. And so this new moon in Cancer wants us to slow down, savor, enjoy, nurture ourselves, heal ourselves, really take care of ourselves. And Jupiter is like, we've got stuff to do. And so you could be forced and pushed and demand upon to do things that you really don't want to. So it can make for a crabby new moon. This Cancer new moon wants to be creative. It wants to create. It wants to, you know, savor those days. Dining al fresco, working in the garden, maybe going to the beach. And so, you know, also too, wait, I'm sorry, I'm collecting my thoughts. Also too, I believe Cancer doesn't like being told what to do. And so this Jupiter square, Jupiter and Aries square, it's like Aries is that little ramming Cancer into staying on a timetable, like too rigid. It's almost as if this Jupiter in Aries is taking on more of a Saturnian flavor. However, we do have a really pretty aspect. If you see here, Venus is also at 7 degrees, but it's in Gemini. And that is making a sextile to Jupiter. Sextiles are really pretty. See, you'll see that blue line right here. So Venus representing money, love, values, pleasure. Venus doesn't like being in Gemini. It's a little out of place because Venus is at home in Taurus or Libra. Taurus, the main, where it's slow, similar to this, to Cancer. I don't know why my words can't get out. Venus also rules our money. It rules the markets, our values in that second house. Sextiling Jupiter in Aries, action. So Venus is all on board about let's go do something wonderful. Let's go have fun. So there's going to need to be some balance between how fast and how slow you're going. Don't do anything like unless you feel it completely in your heart. Don't be forced into doing something because you will not be enjoying yourself or having fun. So we have a lot of contradictory energy. Moving forward, let's clear these out. Okay, so if I animate this, moving forward to the 29th. It pretty much looks the same, but we have Mercury septiling Jupiter. So you'll see that purple line. It brings big news and a possible plot twist. So let's stay tuned to what happens on Wednesday, because something unexpected could happen. We're just not sure what it is. Now, Thursday, June 30th, we're getting set up for a really hot summer. And it's not, I mean, yes, summer's hot, but like intense, aggressive. We have a T-square, and I wish I could just remove these lines, but you could see this T-square right here. It is between this Leo moon, the moon is in Leo, and it is squaring Mars. Where are you, Mars? And it is also squaring Pluto. So it's creating a T-square here. And that is just the tip off of what July is going to be like. It's hot, explosive. You can see a lot of protests. And remember, we're working our way up to the United States' second Pluto return hit. So what I have, it's a big Mars alert. Like Mars is turned on the furnaces. Mars, Jupiter, Aries. Oh, wait, I don't have it written down. When we're looking at that Sun Moon square to Jupiter, you know, where Jupiter is like forcing, demanding that new moon in Cancer. We also have to remember that Chiron and Mars are also in Cancer, in Aries. My gosh, my mind is all over the place. It must be Mercury and Venus in Gemini, because I have that, but like I can't get my thoughts in collected. So beginning June 30th and on July 1st, July 2nd, the theme that I was picking up is lock up your guns, or maybe you want to carry. I had this vision this morning, sharing real quick. I had this vision this morning that men in general in the United States have better watch themselves, because women are very, very angry. That's all I'm saying. But there's so much aggression going on in the sign of Aries. Mercury will trine Saturn. That's steady energy. Mercury will sextile Mars. So it's Mercury and Mars really don't get along so good, because there's like a power struggle. July 4th, Mars will enter Taurus, and Mercury, July 4th, July 5th, Mercury goes into Cancer. So there's going to be a huge shift of energy next week that I will talk about. But I just wanted to bring up these themes. With what I'm seeing, people are going to be hoarding things. We're going to have shortages. So, you know, like all that Cancer energy, it's all about the feminine, the divine feminine, which we have just seen in the news next week. But You know, we already see formula shortages. That is about the nurturing, the mother. That's Cancer energy. But also look for feminine supplies and other different things that could be disappearing from the shelves. You have to read between the lines here. Cancer also rules grain, dairy, cotton, like, so, you know, things that, you know, that are made with cotton, you could have some hard time finding. It definitely slows down our metabolism. Once again, I'm picking up ear, nose, throat issues, neck, and like tension in the shoulders, in the trapezius. Tonsils, accidents are very, very common, very prone to accidents with all of this Aries energy and greed. I think I'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that, and then I'll pick it up next week. I will pick up next week and give you some more information about that. If you have any questions, comments about what is going on in the astrology, please feel free to comment me. All right, so the crystal of the week, with the new moon in Cancer, Cancer rules the moon. I'm going with straight up moonstone. And I keep forgetting when I was looking for moonstone. I wear a moonstone bracelet and it has all different color moonstones on that. And I love this. So I'm going to use straight up moonstone. This is a black moonstone. Feel free to get yourself some moonstone or use any type of soothing crystal that could help soothe the situation, nurture the situation. And I would say like blue and green crystals. Green crystals are going to be really great because that will be heart chakra energy. You could even go pink for that. Because that is all about that Cancer energy, the nurturing. We have to self-nurture at this time. It is all about taking care of ourselves. So let's get into the cards for each zodiac sign. I'm going to pull 3 cards from 2 different decks. I'm using a John Holland Tarot deck, and I'm going to pull 1 major arcana card for each sign, and then the rest of the deck I'm going to do a follow-up with, and then I have my favorite Colette Baron Reed oldest deck that I'm using. This is the John Holland Tarot deck. And you want to pay attention to your sun sign, your rising sign ascendant, and your moon sign, and anywhere you have a stellium. And also for this new moon, you want to see where Cancer and the cardinal angles wind up in your chart. The cardinal angles are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, because that's where the biggest impact in your chart is. All right, Aries, suns, risings, and moons. You have the shadow, which in a traditional tarot deck is the moon. And this does talk about things that are hidden in the shadow. So Aries, pay attention because your sign is really highlighted in the chart over the next many coming weeks. The heat is on. Does this mean that you crawl into the shadows? Do you crawl back and retreat during this new moon in Cancer because you don't want to be in the spotlight? Or like, which side of this are you on? Are you on the light or the dark side? You know, like, are you going to be the aggressor or are you going to be a little more passive? Also, when I think of the moon, because I have pulled that owl totem several times, last week. There's deception, there's intuition, illusion, often, because we can't see things. Oh, right. Kim, did I forget anything? I can't even see. Also, too, think about this new moon as far as there is no light during this moon. So we're in total shadow. This gives you the opportunity to go within and look at your own shadow, or possibly be bringing out your shadow side. Now, to go with this, we have triumph and success. It would be the Ace of Swords in a traditional deck. And so remember, the sword is always double-edged. You can use it for good or you can use it to harm. Similar to this shadow card. Triumph and success, it's really a matter of opinion. I feel as though for Aries, this is standing up for yourself, standing up for others, helping others. And it's also new beginnings, but also that Ace of Swords often says, watch your tongue, watch your words, because they wound. You know, it's not just about skew in the belly, you know, a knife stabbing somebody, because our tongue can do that. And your final card is Butterfly. So this is all about transformation. And this says, if you are feeling a tendency to be in the shadow, to look towards the shadow, this is an opportunity for you to transform that in your higher self and turn it into something beautiful and constructive. All right, Taurus. I love this because this is the card of Taurus. It is fertility, and I actually picked this the other day after that ruling, and that's what came up. You know, and Uranus is in Taurus, so is the North Node. That was the shocking news we got. In a traditional tarot deck, fertility is the Empress, and it does talk about enjoying pleasure of the senses, fertility, creating things that are beautiful. It's creation, it's nurturing, it is slowing down and taking your time to savor, similar to this Cancer new moon. So I love that energy. And it's also a protective energy, I believe. You know, you could see these rings around this Empress, but that 3, the card 3, makes me think of the protection of ascended masters. All right, interesting. So it seems as though we're getting like a lot of duality in these readings. All right, so deception and envy are coming up here. It is card 7. So it makes me think of, are you tapping into intuition and divine, or are you going straight to the monkey mind, like what's going on in the head? Deception and envy are a shadow side, and they will block fertility, productivity, and enjoyment. The green-eyed monster rears its ugly head. And you'll see that this person depicted in this card has a mask pulled up over its eyes, and it seems as though our masks are coming off. Maybe the blinders are coming off, and you know, we're showing our true selves, or some of us, that shadow side, could be afraid to be showing our true selves, and that's why we're wearing masks. And the restriction card is coming up. And so this is just talking about, you know, things aren't moving as fast as you would like them to, but that doesn't mean that they aren't moving. We just can't see yet what is ahead. there's a little bit of a roadblock, little obstacle. There will be a lesson within these transits, but I don't think that that is a bad thing, because I feel as though things will start to move forward faster after the summer. And I'm noticing here the theme of green in all of these cards, which is heart chakra based. So definitely think about some green stones, work on heart chakra. That will definitely help with this deception and envy card. All right, Gemini. Gemini, it is the card of solitude, also known as the Hermit in a traditional tarot deck. Perfect for this Gemini. So this is going within, retreating, moving away from that outer world, chaos, the drama. Just think about it. You know, we just had the sun move out of Gemini and into Cancer. Mercury and Venus are in Gemini. So there's a big spotlight. There's a lot of information flooding in to the Geminis at the current time. And it could be information overload. And really, and it's interesting that this is coming up, because I was thinking the other day, I just wish I had like some total quiet solitude time where I could read a book. And it's being depicted in this card. And it is card 9. It is about following, like having to go within and to switch and change to follow your path, ending something in order to regroup to begin something new. Oh, I love this. And this is where I was feeling it the other day. I was like so sick to my stomach from the collective energy. It is the solar plexus chakra card. So this is your personal power, taking back personal power, maybe shutting that solar plexus off. As my one mentor, Robert Glasscock, he gives the little trick of thinking of the solar plexus chakra, which is right here. And you'll feel it like when your feet picking up other people's energy. This will hurt. It will actually hurt, make you feel like you're sick. It looks like a camera lens. So picture this as a camera lens, and you're closing the lens down so that you're not allowing other people's energy to filter in through your solar plexus chakra. This is also a self-worth type of message coming through here. Citrine is a really good stone for solar plexus. And the Bard comes up. The Bard is the storyteller. I often think of this as a Gemini or Sagittarius type of card. So are you giving yourself time to read that book? Or tell that story, you know, like reading the book, gaining some information, and then becoming the storyteller, the poet. This could be a nice little respite so that you can create your own beautiful art. That's what I'm picking up with for the Gemini suns, risings, and moons, like doing some retreat, time off, doing the hermit thing, in order to rebuild and empower your own personal worth, solar plexus chakra, your own power, as a means of putting out your own creations, you know, like refresh so that you can create again. Because creative people, you get burned out and then you get blocked and there's nothing fresh coming to you. So you just don't feel like creating, you know. Creators out there, do you agree? I had to grab a little drink. My throat was getting very dry from all this talking. All right, Cancer. Happy birthday, Cancers. This is your new moon. This is a time for you and all of us to set those intentions. With the new moon in Cancer, It's about taking better care of ourselves and the ones that we love, but putting the attention to ourselves first, because we can't give from an empty cup, right? All right. And your card is card of the light, which is the sun. And that is so perfect for your birthday season, Cancers, and your new moon. The sun depicts enlightenment, joy, prosperity, abundance, good things coming. This is a time for you to embrace that energy. I love that for all of you. And here we have victory and success. So this is overcoming obstacles, making it to the pinnacle, Cancers, staying out of the fray and focusing on that goal. So goals can be reached not only by the Cancers, but from all of us if we just focus on the right things. I love that. It is card 6, so that indicates to me that you won't be going it alone. And this is some sort of possible relationship or financial type of success, or where you're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. However, fears could be holding you back. What are you afraid of? I mean, yes, Pluto has had a stronghold in opposition in some way, maybe even wide orb to the Cancer suns, risings, and moons, or even stelliums. Sometimes we become frozen in fear of heights, fear of reaching that pinnacle. So just remember, false evidence appearing real. The fears are justified because Cancer is all about feelings and emotion and intuition, ruled by the moon, ruled by this new moon. And so fears that you're picking up are protective and allow you to be cautious. Just don't get carried away with it and become paranoid, because we could have a tendency to be doing that at this time. Leo, suns, risings, and moons. This is card number 0, new beginnings, but it is the Fool in a traditional tarot deck. So, the Fool, some of us will leap off of that cliff without looking to see if there's a safety net underneath, if there are jagged rocks, or maybe the ocean that we would be falling into. And you know, you could be cautioned, because in a traditional Fool card, the little dog is nipping at the Fool's heels, trying to pull him back away from that cliff, away from jumping off the cliff, so to speak. But the Fool card brings possibilities. That's those new beginnings. So there's going to be an opportunity. The card 0 does talk about boundaries, but I'm hearing like starting from 0, starting from nothing, like a reset, the new beginning. All right. And your second card is mental confusion. So this could be a very emotional time for the Leo suns, risings, and moons. I'm a Leo moon, so it has me a little concerned, especially because we've got that T-square at the end of the month. On June 30th, you know, we're entering that Mars alert season. Leos, this could be heart or back related, so like health-wise. But the mental confusion, going to bring up that paranoia again. Stay out of your heads. So if you stay active outdoors, in nature, grounded, you will get out of your heads. And that's what I'm going to recommend, because the emotions could be extremely heightened with all of this Aries energy, which is trining you, because Aries is a sister brother fire sign. It could really take over your mind and make you mentally ill. It could be in that monkey mind. So caution, caution for the Leos. And your third card, it is the cow. And as soon as I see that, I think of prosperity and abundance, but the fear of not having enough, not having what is needed. And the cow reminds you that everything you have is already here, but you have to start counting your blessings and you have to start putting things in order. You have to slow down. You have to take time to nurture yourself, eat well, exercise, get plenty of sunshine. What else is the cow saying? Makes me think of Taurus energy. Oh, okay. And it's also about asking for help when you need it. Don't be too shy to, reach out for help and ask for help if that is needed. So Leos, it looks like it could be a little turbulent, but at the same time, it's opening the doors for something brand new, which is really fantastic. All right, Virgos. This is about power. The power card is the strength card. Now, it's interesting. So you'll see a duality here as well. You see the man and then you see the beast, the lion. So this is a good reminder for the Virgos to not become overzealous with your power, your personal power, whatever position that you're in. You could be kinder, like be a kinder, more compassionate human. Or you can be, like I think of the lion whenever I see that in a traditional tarot card, the lion looks so pleasant, because there's usually a woman petting the lion, taming the lion, but it is a beast. So are you going to use your power ruthlessly or compassionately? So that's where I'm going with that. It's also about taking your personal power back from anyone who has usurped it. Okay, your second card, it is rest and rejuvenation. So you may need to take a little bit of a respite, a time out during this time in order to recapture your personal power and to stand in your power. This is not a bad thing. We're coming into your birthday season soon enough, within a few weeks. And so we're also entering here in the Northern Hemisphere, the dog days of summer. And it is all about luxuriating and basking in that heat and humidity if you live in the South or on the coast like I do. But, taking that time in nature, resting, rejuvenating, allowing your body to build up. Oh, you know what? When I was saying that about the birthday, because this is typically a Leo card, so I was thinking about the sun moving into Leo. I don't know where my mind went with that. Sorry, but your birthday will follow soon enough, in 2 months. So, but take this time off because I feel as though when the sun does move into Virgo, it's going to be extremely productive. And not to mention that when the sun moves into Virgo, Mars, that is typically Aries is ruled by Mars, will be moving into Gemini. So, which is Mercury ruled, Virgo falls into that category, staying there for 7 months. So your minds will be on overload. There'll be a really big charge to the Virgos. I'm going to have to see how that's going to play out in the charts, but I know it's going to be pretty fantastic. So rest up. And then your card, it's the Merlin. It is all about the magic, but I feel like, this looks icy. It looks wintry. This is about alchemy, justice, balance, bringing things into balance. So when I see the Merlin card, it automatically makes me think of the magician in a traditional tarot deck, where you already have everything you need to make everything work. You just have to learn how to combine it and balance it out and put it together. Also, too, just know justice will be served. So you don't have to worry about you forcing your power onto anyone, because what comes around goes around. And I am a firm believer in karma. So it's, you know, what comes around goes around. So wherever you are, Virgos, in this world stratosphere, if you're feeling the pinch of injustice, just know, because Virgos are, you know, the earth eternal mother, just know everything will work out. Okay, Libras. It is the card of sacrifice. And the card of sacrifice is the Hanged Man in a traditional tarot deck. Just make sure. Yeah, it's the Hanged Man. So it is time for you to surrender, to pause. Sacrifice means you may have or may need to give up something that is draining all of your energy, Libras. At least take that respite, because you're in this holding pattern. The holding pattern may be somebody's holding something over you. They have you by the foot, just having you dangling and waiting. No sense driving yourself crazy while you're waiting. So this just really is a time of, you know, surrendering to what is and pausing for a moment. All right, so it seems that it has to do with money somehow, material abundance, but it correlates directly back to your spirituality and your beliefs. And so if you are waiting on money, finances, something to change in that sector of your life, just know that where you are spiritually as a soul completely affects what comes in and what happens in your outer world. So the chaos that we see in the outer world is really a reflection of what is going on in here. So that may be a really good cue for you to do that surrender and pause. And it's all about seeking the truth, finding out what is real, what is true to you, what do you believe in. This is going to be a really good time during this summer, during this new moon, to take a step back and maybe take a deeper dive into those shadows and find out what is really true for you. Where do your beliefs lie? Who aligns with your beliefs? Who aligns with, you know, your personal truth? I love that. Okay, Scorpio, suns, risings, and moons. It is the card of destiny. Fate and destiny are at play for you. And what's interesting, you know, we have to be reminded that the South Node, things from past lives, are on their way out. They're being eliminated. And so if you're going through a rough time, just know that you're being put in the path of destiny, put in the path of holding on to your faith or finding your faith. This destiny, it is the Wheel of Fortune in a traditional tarot deck. So it is about cycles in your life. It is about chances, you know, the wheel of chance spinning around and around, but it's also cycles of the moon. And so this is really a perfect time for you to sink in to your current situation and realize that it's just a cycle you're going through. It may take one full calendar cycle, 13 moons, for it to fully culminate and come about. This new moon is trining your sun, rising, or your own moon or stellium. Card number 10 does talk about fortunate abundance, but it's about that self-love, putting up those boundaries around whoever is screwing with your destiny and your fate and your abundance. Okay, so, and it really always seems to come down to money. Are you grounded? What is the foundation that you are currently sitting on as far as, you know, do you have your finances in order? Do you feel safe and secure? This is all about the root chakra, baby. And so, you know, a lot of Scorpios could have been going through quite a bit of loss with that South Node in Scorpio. And so, you know, it feels as though maybe the rug has been pulled under, out from under you, or some kind of financial situation didn't come through in the way that you thought that it would. So we got to do a root chakra check, a grounding check. Just know that destiny is at play, so everything does cycle around and work out. And it may not be a bad thing, whatever's being eliminated, because the burden card is coming up. And to me, this says maybe you've been carrying a heavier burden than you really have. Maybe you never realized what a burden it was. And now it's time for you to release that burden, to eliminate it. Because once you do, that's when the fate and destiny card will kick in. That's when the chances will change for you. That's when the wheel of fortune will start spinning in your favor. Sagittarius, not going to mess it up this week. Sagittarius, the Tower card is coming up. So when, I mean, it's the disruption card, but in a traditional tarot deck, it is the Tower. And it does say that something in your life possibly was built on a shoddy foundation. Or maybe it was rigged or half-assed or, you know, whatever. And now it has to crumble and come down so that it can be rebuilt. You're going to be taking a look at different aspects of your life and seeing, like, where are the weak spots? Where do I need to maybe reinforce a foundation in a certain area or another? So these disruptions, although very possibly annoying, frustrating, it's giving you the opportunity to rebuild something so much stronger and to live in integrity and authenticity and to not do things halfway. All right, so we have the recognition and reward card that is coming up. So if you have built strong foundations in a certain area of your life, you will get recognition and reward. This could be a promotion. This could be, you know, a pat on the back. May not be exactly what you are hoping for, but when I see that card number 3, it is saying that don't worry about this disruption Tower card, because you're being guided by your guides. You're being supported by them. That could be the recognition. It's like they're recognizing you have to be aware of what wasn't working so that you could rebuild it. And then they come in and they help you. They help you. So it won't be as hard. Like, kind of everything maybe falls into place. And then the novice card is coming up. So this is like, oh my gosh, I've got to start all over again from the very beginning. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me put my glasses on so that I can see this a little bit better. It does talk about innocence, beginner ignorance, like, oh, I didn't even know that this was this way. But it's also about learning new skills, or, you know, becoming a master at a new skill without any practice, which is really interesting. And there's some unstable curiosity involved here, which is sometimes typical of a Sagittarius sun rising or moon or even stellium, just that incessant curiosity to want to do something new, something exciting. So that's what I'm picking up for you guys. Capricorns, suns, risings, and moons. You have the universe. And in a traditional tarot deck, that is the world. And this talks about contemplation, thinking about everything on a grander scale. Remember, Pluto is in Capricorn, and it has been a rough ride for the Capricorn suns, risings, and moons in so many different ways. But now you're coming to a point, this new moon is possibly opposing or on the polar opposite end of your sun, rising, moon, or stellium. So therefore, this is a good time to contemplate maybe getting rid of some things or starting something brand new, bringing things in. And so, yes. But this is always a good sign because it's like the universe, everything is kind of coming together. I feel also too, when I see the world, there is a completion here and a new beginning about to take place. All right, so not the best card. Heartache and loss card comes up. So this contemplation, have you maybe been spending too much time in contemplation? The heartache and loss card is also saying you like take stock of everything that has gone on and try to heal any heartache from losses that you may have incurred. This is also almost like a solitude card, similar to what Gemini had received, that Hermit card, taking time out to allow yourself to grieve, to contemplate, to look over everything and do a big, huge assessment. You're like at the midpoint of the year. So it's like 6 months ago was your birthday and you are 6 months away from your birthday. So this could also be indicating like this year didn't turn out the way that you had planned. And there could be some disappointment there. And I love this. The Swan card is coming up. And immediately it makes me think of the transformation card. So certain things may not look beautiful to you right now, but they will transform. They'll transform through that, like that Pluto, which is transformation. But it also makes me think of Hans Christian Andersen's The Ugly Duckling. And nobody wanted to be around that little duckling, and they thought it was ugly because it looked so different than all of the other ducks that were in the pond. And then one day, the ugly duckling showed up, and it was a beautiful swan. And none of the other ducks looked like that. It was, it was just glorious. And then the ugly duckling became admired for being the most beautiful. It's kind of like what's going on in your lives, Capricorn, suns, risings, moons. There's a lot of things transforming, and they will look so different next year. Also, too, trusting your own intuition is coming up with this. With the swan being of the water, we're going back to those emotions again. So that's what I'm getting for the Caps. Aquarius. Aquarius, you have the Truth card. And in a traditional tarot deck, it is the Judgment card. So this is about an awakening, an enlightenment. Your eyes are finally opening. This is talking about putting up strict, healthy boundaries around your emotions and shutting out anybody who is a naysayer, anybody that has any negativity coming towards you. There's an epiphany coming where it's like you finally have this aha moment and you're like, yeah, I don't have to do this anymore. Like I see it this way now. and everything starts to look different. The truth. Oh, I love this. Heart chakra card. And so this says to me, for you, it's follow your truth. Follow what is in your heart. This could mean that you need to have some heart healing. This could also mean that your heart is opening up to a kinder, more compassionate you. Once you do have that aha moment, it's rising above everything that's going on around you with no judgment. Some really good stones for the heart chakra. Malachite, it will clear out and heal anything that is wounded. Wear it close to that heart chakra. All right, and I like this. So it's the High Priestess is coming up, and this is about following your gut, following your intuition, following your instincts, seeing beyond what all the BS is that's in front of you, which is exactly what this truth card is. Let's see. It's discernment, it's presence, prophecy, union. It's really getting in touch with the high divine and relying on your own gut instinct instead of what is going on around you. That's for Aquarius. Last but not least, as always, Pisces. Triumph. Dun, dun, dun. This is the Chariot in a traditional tarot deck. To me, it talks about movement forward. Things are finally starting to move. Whenever I think of the Chariot, a decision is coming. A decision that needs to be made, a fork in the road. Which direction are you going to go in? You're going this way, you're going to go this way. You're moving forward with total confidence, knowing that you can't fail. I love this, and it's the Harmony card. This is wait, I don't know why I picked that, because I should have picked from this middle deck. But that's the Lovers card. So you could be moving forward with a partner. This was a faux pas, but nothing happens by accident, right? Oh, so interesting. The Choose Wisely card came up. And this was saying to me a decision was going to have to be made. It's a major decision. And actually, like, there could be more than several choices. And choose wisely, because all that glitters isn't gold. Something may look fantastic on the outside, but underneath it's rotten. And conversely, something might look rotten on the outside, but it's a gold mine. Okay. And cha-ching, the Wealth card comes up. This is not always just about money. It is about the abundance and the wealth that we feel, full of gratitude and appreciation for our lives. So it seems as though you will choose wisely, and you will come into your own personal wealth. This could be a windfall as well. Landfall. So there you go, Pisces. I hope y'all liked this. Happy new moon. And like I said, I am time stamping this, but hopefully you didn't get this far. And now I'm saying that. I did want to share with you one other thing. I want to do a shout out to my friend Marianne at Morningstar and the Moon. So do you remember a few weeks ago, I wrote that article about keeping our deceased loved ones and pets' ashes in our house? So I'm going to share with you my screen. My friend Marianne is the one that did the house cleaning, the energetic house cleaning. So if you haven't read my article, please go check it out at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. So Morningstar and the Moon, my friend Marianne, is a spiritual, energetic home and business cleaner. She also takes care of personal and pet clearings, dowsing workshops. She is up in Canada, in Ontario, and she's also really fantastic at feng shui, but she isn't quite offering that service yet. I think she's waiting on one more certification. This is my friend Marianne Sheldrake, and so she's at morningstarandthemoon.com. She's on Facebook and Instagram, and I will be sharing her link with you. Just some of her services. She's fabulous. You know, I live outside of Philadelphia. She's up in Ontario, Canada. And how she even knows what's going on in my house, and I can verify it with accuracy, it's crazy. She totally taps in. So go ahead and check out that article. It was a Feng Shui Friday article that I posted a couple of weeks ago. I'll put the link to that. I'll put Marianne's link to that. If you need an energetic cleaning in your house, for your pets, for yourself, this is a great time for this Cancer new moon, because it is all about nurturing and taking care of ourselves. And this would be a beautiful way to like really get aligned and get all of that heaviness and the gunk and shadows and whatever kind of spirits, you know, are lingering around your house that need to get out, and to improve your energy in your home. So happy new moon. Until next week. Feel free to comment me. Be sure to subscribe. Check out my other videos. And I will see you very, very, very soon. Bye.